Okay, semua dah ready? Sambung for your part. Sorry. Okay ya? Dengar tak suara saya semua? Oh, okay, bagus, nice. Ingatkan korang tengah sarapan ke tengah makan kan? Okay, okay, saya ada sedikit untuk nak sedikit minta tolonglah untuk semua peserta sekarang ni. Boleh tak kalau macam kamu, sebab saya tahu untuk sekarang ni kan kita kan kadang-kadang kita suka buat story kan, kita buat post ke Instagram, ke Facebook. Boleh tak korang kalau yang sekarang tengah join ni, tak kisahlah kamu nak buat pada pada waktu bila untuk post kan, boleh tak tagkan sifu Twitter dan juga hashtag lah program pencutan hashtag 2021. Boleh tak korang? Sebab saya tahu korang mesti macam nak buat story kan. Good morning for the today. Ada tak korang? Okay, itu just macam tolonglah kalau korang so okay boleh je. Alright, edit tagkan sifu Twitter. Dan satu lagi, untuk modul, mana yang tak buka lagi modul, dah boleh buka lah. Sedia untuk kita untuk belajar. Nanti senang lah bila kamu dah buat rujukan. Dan apa-apa lagi kalau macam ada masalah teknikal ke ataupun kamu tak boleh nak masuk ke kan, boleh inform pada kami nanti. Ataupun inform kepada Telegram yang dalam grup tu. Okay? So far itu saja, kita boleh sambung semula. Dan dipersilakanlah Teacher Alia. Okay, itu saja.
Yes, I will compile the word meaning. Maybe we finish this thing at 5, right? So when I get home and I will go through the stuff again, and then I'll compile it into PDF, and then I will give Imran and he will upload it for you guys. Okay? Maybe by tomorrow, sometime like around that. Okay, no worries. But of course, it's better if you guys take note because it's better when you guys do it while you are listening to me. But if you guys start might not catch some words, no problem. I will compile it for you guys, right? Okay, so I will go through the questions, and as usual, ask me anything from the questions that you guys understand. Okay, so question number 1: what did the writer and his 4 friends use the hidden space for? A, to hide candies and chocolates. B, to keep their school supplies. C, to hide their money. Number 2, who has the idea to form the mischievous plan? Okay, who had the idea? Was it Thwaites? Was it the writer? Or was it all 5 boys? Okay, and so Imran will will answer about the hashtag. Okay, all right. So what did the boys do with the dead rat? Okay, question number 3. A, they threw it out the window. B, they placed it in Mrs. Cratchit's handbag, or they threw it into a candy jar. Number 4, why do you think the writer said, my heart was thumping like mad and my hands had gone all sweaty? A, he was disgusted by the smelly dead rat, or B, he was afraid of potentially being caught, or C, he did not have enough money to pay for the sweet corn. Okay, so from the questions, is there anything that you guys want to ask me? Any word that may be confusing for you guys? Mischievous, all right, mischievous. Mischievous means when you are up to mischief. Wait, hold on. Yep. Why? How is this being done? Oh. Is it better now? Can you guys see it clearer? Is it nampak? Is it like zoomed in? Same. Okay. All right. Okay. For those young, if it's still not clear, I'm referring from the module, right? So if you guys have downloaded it or if you guys have printed it, you just go to the question part of the second comprehension excerpt, okay, about tales of childhood. Okay, at that point. So if you cannot see my screen, you can just look at it manually. All right. But if there is anything that you guys can't find, and then I am talking and then you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like which part of the content I'm talking about, please just let me know in the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. So, what am I? Oh, okay. Mischievous. So people ask me what mischievous was. Mischievous is when you are up to mischief. Okay, when you are a troublemaker. So if someone says, "Oh, that kid is very mischievous," okay, it means that maybe the kid likes to run around, doesn't like to listen to instructions. Okay, likes to cause disruption in class. Okay, we all have that one kid in school, especially kalau masih sekolah rendah, primary school, who always got into trouble. Okay, always buat bising. So that kid is who we would refer to as the mischievous kid. Okay. So if it's a mischievous plan, it means that the boys are up to something very naughty. Okay. Thwaites. Thwaites is actually a name. Okay. It's a very non-typical name. In Malaysia, I do not know. I've never heard of anyone young with that name, Thwaites. Okay. It's a very old British name. Even now, I think like people young British generation, our generation, like Gen Z, millennial, I don't think there are many who are named Thwaites. Okay, so it's an old name. This book was written based on the childhood of the guy in the 1940s. We're in 2021. This was from 1940s. Okay, this was like 80 years ago. Okay, so Thwaites is actually just someone's name. Okay, the name. Any other word? Okay, by the way, one of the words that people like to use, maybe, it's not a problem. Okay, no problem, Ayman. Maybe is not a problem to use, okay, but it's also very commonly used. A lot of people use it. So potentially is actually a synonym for that. So instead of saying, if someone asks you, oh, are you going to do your homework tonight? And you say maybe, okay. Another way to say is, yeah, I will potentially might start doing it tonight. Okay, potentially meaning berpotensi untuk membuat benda tu. Okay, so it's another way, another word that you can use instead of using maybe. Okay, just yeah, just extra information for you guys. Okay, any other word or it's all clear for you? Wait, yeah, all right, I'm glad. So number one, what is the answer for number one, guys? What did the writer and his four friends use the hidden space for? How do I know many words? When I was okay, well, honestly, for starters, my family, my parents and my mom's side of the family, they speak English at home. We speak English. Bahasa Melayu pun bercakap juga, tak ada masalah nak cakap bahasa Melayu juga. Cuma dua-dua macam we speak equal amount. So 50% English, 50% bahasa Melayu. And I learned English that way. Honestly, I did not learn English dari sekolah at all. Maknanya tak ada pun macam nak kata I belajar. Yeah, half English. I speak half English, half Malay, but I'm fully Malay. I'm fully Malay, but I speak half kat rumah. And I read a lot of books growing up, lots of books. All those movies that you see now, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, all those books all these movies yang dibuat dari movie, tapi they were books. Okay, so I've read all those books. I loved reading masa kecil, and my mom masa zaman dulu, not zaman dulu, I'm not that old. I'm only 24, but back then we didn't really have smartphones. I only got Maze Runner is really good. It is very good. It is very interesting. The book's amazing. The way that you read it, you will feel just as nervous and scared as the main character when you're reading it. Harry Potter, a favorite. I've read it so many times. I love it. Absolutely love it. The movie, of course, is great as well. The characters, oh, it's amazing. I love Harry Potter. But yes, I read a lot of books. It was actually a hobby of mine. Rich Dad and Poor Dad, yes, my parents read that when I was like 6 years old, the rat race, all about that, which I did not really read, but I know about it. But reading books, it was definitely a way for me to expand my vocabulary. And it also helped that my parents are big readers of books. So if I did not understand something, I will ask them and they'll explain to me. And that's the best way. That's the best way to learn. So for me, my students, I have a number of students that I teach since I'm under tutor, kan? So I teach math, I teach science, and I teach English. So for my English students, I actually give them my WhatsApp number and they can text me anytime, not just during class, anytime. So any word that they see on TikTok or on YouTube, on social media, on whatever that they see in English, and they don't know it, they can just ask me and I will explain to them on the spot. Because that is the best way to learn, through first-hand experience, through direct questioning. Mhm. Okay, so that is how I learned words, I think, mostly by reading a lot of books. And I also listen to a lot of music. Lyrics, when you look at lyrics, don't just memorize it or sing along. Look into it. Try to understand what the singer is trying to tell you. How to join? You can go through PECUTAN and ask them. They will link you to me, no problem. Okay. Yeah, it takes time to look up the meaning. So that's why macam the best is if someone tells you, someone tells you and someone explains it to you, it's so much easier for you to remember. Daripada you sendiri kena manually look it up, yes. And also, I understand that for you guys, you are all 17, 16, right? It's not easy to read. I haven't read a book in a while. Honestly, the last time I read a book, yeah, English book, macam novel, was in 2019. I haven't had time to read a book because I'm still a student. I'm a full-time student. I'm in medical school. I do PDPR, PDRP, PDPR. Because at Russia we cannot. Sure, no problem. I can give you guys my number, my email later. No, not a problem at all. So I'm a student, so I'm still a full-time student. I still have to do assignments and stuff, medical student. At the same time, I work, I tutor students. I have over 20 students, individuals, private tuition and private one-on-one. So for me to read, I don't do it anymore. So whatever that I know now, the words, it's all the things that I learned from my childhood. How do I improve on my grammar? Speak the language. In my university, we speak English mostly. We're in Russia, yes, but I don't learn in Russian. I learn in English. And I mix with other international students, mainly Nigerians, Brazilians, Indians from India, Sri Lankans, Thai, there are not many Thais. But yeah, when you speak English more, you practice it and you get more comfortable with it, and that you will improve. But the best way for both grammar, for vocabulary, general usage is through books, always books. You don't even realize you're learning it. I didn't realize that I was learning English, honestly. I was just reading books because I wanted to understand what was going on. I wanted to know that the character, is he going to die? Is he going to live? And you just learn with it naturally. Okay. So it's ongoing. It's not much time you can do it within 1 tahun, 2 tahun. How I learned English, it was like from childhood until adulthood, 24 years of my life. But don't give up. Honestly, I know a lot of people, some of my Russian teachers, they didn't know English at all until they were in 20 years old. And then they had to learn because they wanted to ajar, they wanted to teach, right? And they took, 10 years to learn it. But their English is great now. So never have that mentality where you feel macam malu or takut. Don't be afraid for people to, judge or anything like that. That doesn't matter. Just try, be consistent with it. Be consistent. That's very important. And after this, I will give you guys my email and you guys can email me and ask me anything you want to. If you guys want to join my tuition, also you guys can do that. You can contact Imran for that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, we got derailed from the question. Okay, yeah. Where was it just now? People already answered. Okay, some people answered A. Ada orang answer A. Yeah. Daisy Joseph is correct. Hajar, Patricia. Yeah, you guys betul, it's A. What did the writer and his 4 friends use hidden space for? To hide candies and chocolate. Okay, school supplies. School supplies is basically barang-barang sekolah, meaning notebooks, erasers, sharpener, pencils, pens, pencil cases, things that you use in school. Okay, but they said, what did they say? Where was it? What did I see? Hiding place for sweets and other small treasures. Okay, so sweets meaning manisan. Okay, manisan can be mostly candy and chocolates. Okay, and since we're on that, candies and chocolates, there are some things that they mentioned here. Gobstoppers, bootlace, okay, sherbet sucker. These are actually all names of candies, all right? Gobstopper is actually, if you guys have watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, also on Netflix, also a book, also by this author. Yeah, the one extra thing. This author, Roald Dahl, okay, the one that wrote Matilda, the one that wrote the thing that we are going through right now, is one of my favorite authors. I love him. I read his books when I was in primary school, and definitely a lot of my writing style, my grammar, my, what do I say, vocabulary also came from him, a lot of it. Okay, so anyway, Gobstopper is a kind of candy. You guys can Google it right now. They actually do sell it at Jaya Grocer. Uh, Tim Burton is the guy that directs the movies. Yes, he directs the movies, and he likes to work with Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp played Willy Wonka, which is in the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay. So yes, yeah, he was director for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So Gobstopper is a candy that was created by this author lah, basically. Okay. It's basically the whole idea of Gobstopper is that the candy to you makan and it's fiction, right? So they can make anything up. So you eat the candy and then it doesn't end. It's like continuously never ending candy, tak akan habis. Okay, bootlace tu is like, think of a candy yang macam jenis yang panjang-panjang tu, those sour ribbons. Yeah, you have to continuously suck it, exactly. So, and the more that you suck it, it doesn't end. Okay, but they actually do sell it at Jaya Grocer. But of course, the one they sell at Jaya Grocer is imported, so it's a bit expensive. It's like 10, 12 ringgit, I think. And it ends. It ends. After you suck it, it ends. Okay, it's nothing magical about it. It's just normal candy, but they call it Gobstoppers for the branding. Sherbet sucker is a very typical, yeah, it has many layers of flavors. But really, it's just sugar. Like many layers of flavors, but there is just sugar. If I were to recommend to you a Willy Wonka brand candy, my favorite is called what is it called? Kazoozle. If you can also, yes, nuts. I love nuts. The blue and pink one, so good. Nuts are good because like they're little small textures. Yeah. The chocolate kalau Willy Wonka, I've only tried once, and I don't think they sell it in Malaysia. The golden ticket, yeah, I had it once when I was traveling at the time, and I bought it, and it's good. But honestly, the candy is probably better. Yeah, it is real. It's real. I mean, the chocolate factory is not like we don't actually have a chocolate factory yang macam Willy Wonka, but they started making the chocolates and the candies based on the book. So you can actually buy some of the chocolate and the candy from the book because they made it. Yeah. Yes, cold storage or Jaya Grocer, cold storage is the main place. Or if you are living in KL region, Ben's Independent Grocer at Publica, they have that too. Yeah. Nuts are good. Nuts are cheap, affordable, and they're like you eat them in small quantities because they're really tiny. And yeah, I like nuts. Yeah, they're good. They're good. Recommend that. So, sherbet sucker is something that's normally a sour candy, basically. Okay, so yes. Moving on to the second question. Who has the idea to form the mischievous plan? Who was it? Was it Thwaites, the writer, or was it all five of them? The writer, yes, indeed. The writer. Okay, he was the one and he was very proud of it. Okay, number 3. What did the boys do with the dead rat? A, threw it out the window, or they placed it in the handbag, or into a candy jar. Yes, betul. That's correct. Throw it into a candy jar. That was the whole mouse plot, to throw the mouse into the candy jar. Now, number 4. Why do you think the writer said my heart was thumping like mad and my hands had gone all sweaty? Okay, A, B, or C? Okay, Gum and P has answered. Okay. What about you guys? What do you guys think? The rest of you? Okay. Correct. B. He was afraid of potentially being caught. Okay, because what he was doing is obviously not a good thing. You should not be putting dead animals into food jars. Okay. But that's the whole novelty of this whole thing, is because it was such an outrageous thing to do. Okay, so yes, B is the correct answer. Okay, so for this part of our question, do you guys have any questions you want to ask me? Any word or anything related to this that you guys are curious to know about? Okay, please feel free to ask. No, all right. Okay, so now we went through the comprehension part, right? So in the exam, they will have these sort of things, but articles, I've seen some articles where they write about Harry Potter, they write about some things that are quite interesting that that's not gonna put you to sleep. But most of the time they will do stuff like health tips and ways to cope with stress and all those very generic articles that are useful. They're useful. Okay. My name my name is Alia Aisha, but everyone calls me Alia. Yeah, everyone calls me Alia. Except when I was in school, because Alia is a very common name. Everyone has that name, and I had like 5 Alias in my class. So masa sama sekolah, some teachers call me Alia Aisha, but in my adulthood, Alia. I grew up in Selangor. I grew up in Subang Jaya, like primary school Subang Jaya, secondary school in Petaling Jaya. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Instagram. I'm actually dead on social media. I don't I don't really have social media. I do, yeah, but I don't even remember my Instagram name. Tapi like later, if when I give you my email, I can also give you my Instagram. But it's dead, honestly. I don't post anything. Yeah, I'm kind of, and yes, you can. I will give you guys my number later, no problem. But it's a Russian number, so you guys have to put a country code +7, which which Imran had trouble with when I first worked with Seafood Tutor because they didn't know how to call me. But yeah, I can give you guys that later, no problem. Okay. So you can my Russian is bad. It's bad. I know I can speak basic. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I've lived in Russia for 5 years and I can speak only basic Russian. See, that is an example of why you need to practice. Okay. Because I speak English with my lecturers, I speak English with my friends. So there was never a time where I actually practiced aside from with patients. And with patients, I just ask them medical related questions, or start listening to the way they breathe. So there's not much talking involved. It's more to me giving the medical uh oh, cool, that's cool. They have Russian class. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Russian is a kind of a difficult language, honestly. Like it's not, because it's not exactly a pretty, no offense to Russia, not exactly a pretty language. So there's no Russian movies or Russian songs that you can listen to. So yeah, that's, I think, my struggle with Russian language is that there's no alternative sources for me to refer to or to learn it. And since all my subjects are in English, so for me to pass my exams all in English, so that mentality where I'm just like, okay, I don't need it to pass, which is bad. Russian, okay, well, you can ask me more about that, about going to Russia if you want to, no problem. Oh my God, me speaking Russian. I will not give you guys the nightmare at this early in the day. It's only 10:44. Mhm. Russian is not, it's not a pretty language, not really. No problem, Sahil. Okay, so yes, I'm studying medicine in Russia. Yes, I am. Mhm. I will probably go back there in November, hopefully. My visa is being done right now. I've been back in Malaysia for a year and a half. Been doing distant learning. Thank you, Sahil. Yeah. Mhm. So, okay. Now we will go to part 1. Okay. Yes, I am aware that I actually did part 2 before part 1, which shows how I am as a person. This is me as a student. I'm not very very organized. I am disorganized in some ways. Okay, so thank you, Daisy. So the text, okay, like I said, I was trying to find things that were fun or fun-ish, okay, that would not put you guys to sleep on Sunday morning. Okay, so I chose chocolate because for me personally, I like to read about food. I think that that's the most interesting thing to read about. Because I don't want to read about the environment in the early morning. Okay, so it's about chocolate. Okay, so I'm going to read through it, and there are lots of gaps. Okay, the gaps are meant to be grammatical words, grammatical different forms of the words. Okay, so there will be tenses. So in grammar, okay, in grammar, I've noticed my students are all levels. Okay, I teach. I have a few. I have a IGCSE student, but he's very small. And his syllabus is a bit different than ours, right? From SPM. I have UPSR level students, PT3, SPM level, and all of them have one thing in common, in which they all struggle with tenses. Okay, they all struggle with tenses. And especially when it's in writing, okay, when they are doing essays, sometimes they start with present tense and then halfway they do past tense, okay? And then sometimes they confuse present tense with future tense, all right? So that is something that a lot of my students really do struggle with, okay? So this exercise, okay, which is in your paper, you do have this part of it in your paper. It's important because a lot of people lose marks here, okay? So I'm going to go through it, all right? And the usual, you guys will find the words that you don't understand and we will go through it together. Okay, so all chocolate, even white chocolate, okay, space, with the fruit of the cacao tree. An equatorial Susian looking plant with plump, bumpy, ovoid pods that grow directly from the trunk. The cacao beans, which are also called cocoa beans, okay, are the seeds that, okay, the word that you're supposed to insert, inside the pod, surrounded by fleshy, juicy fruit that tastes a little like a mango, crossed with a pear that was carrying a lychee. After harvesting, the beans are fermented for up to a week to develop their flavors, and they're dried. To make chocolate, the dried beans are roasted, then cracked to separate the outer husks, the inner nibs, which have a nasty, like nutty, like nuts, nutty, earthy flavor and crunchy texture, and are excellent added to baked goods. The nibs are about half cocoa solids and half cocoa butter. Chocolate makers, space, the nibs into what's called chocolate liquor or chocolate paste. This liquor is ground again along with sugar and other ingredients that might include milk powder if you're making milk chocolate, okay? Lecithin to make the smooth texture or vanilla for flavor. Sometimes extra cocoa butter is mixed in to give creaminess to dark chocolate or to mellow the flavor of extra bittersweet chocolates without much added sugar. The goal of this second grinding, called conching, is to reduce the size of the sugar and cocoa or cacao particles until they feel like satin on the tongue, a process that can take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. Then the chocolate is tempered, okay, tempered meaning it's cooled and it's heated to specific temperatures so that stays set with that characteristic glossy look and snappy texture. After that, it's ready to savor. Strictly speaking, all chocolate is bean to bar. Okay, bean to bar, just as all means, space, essentially farm to table. But just like the chef who fanatically seeks out all her ingredients, down to the flakes of salt garnishing, her sustainable line called crudo, bean to bar chocolate makers obsess over the character and ethical origins of their beans. Okay, this is in marked contrast to mainstream industrial chocolate, in which the beans are a commodity product bought. Okay, bought for price, not quality. Okay, there's a gap here, that's why this sentence sounds weird. If they are infested, moldy, terrible looking beans, mix it into good ones, large chocolate companies will buy them anyway. Okay, said John Scharfenberger, a founder of Scharfenberger chocolate maker in San Francisco. That's because big companies often mix so many other ingredients that the consumer won't taste any bad beans in the final product. Okay, so this is about chocolate making, and to summarize it, is basically they're explaining to us how chocolate is made. Okay, and they're also, and in the end, they're comparing how these small scale chocolatiers, okay, chocolatiers are people who make chocolates. Great, now I feel like chocolates. Okay, so chocolatiers, snacky texture. Okay, yeah, you guys can start asking me all the words that you guys don't understand from here. Snappy texture too is like when you know when you break apart a chocolate and there's that little snap that you hear. Okay, so a snappy texture is it's a good texture. You're talking about something that is it's how do I say? We've all eaten. I don't know if you guys have eaten bad chocolate, but I have eaten bad chocolate. The ones that tend to be macam banyak kelapa sawit and there's not enough milk. Okay. Those cheap chocolates, no offense to them, but they don't taste that good. Okay. But snappy texture means a texture that when you break the chocolate, dia macam pops a little bit. Okay. So you want it to be that way. You don't want the chocolate to be macam peroi ataupun like mushy. You want it to be a good solid bar. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, continue listing down the meaning and I will go through each one as usual. Okay, take your time, skim through it. And by the way, don't be ashamed to ask, even if it's a simple word. If you think, oh, this is not a word yang susah, but why do I not know it? Just ask me. I don't at all judge. Just ask anything that you want to ask. Okay, Daisy, if you can't hear me clearly, and you find anything from the module or from anywhere, like I do say, it doesn't have to be just confined to the module. Anything that you don't hear or you don't understand about English, I will give my contact after we finish this, so you can contact me. Okay, Daisy, don't worry. Bad connection is something that we all go through. I go through that when I have classes with my lecturers too. So I feel you. Okay, don't worry. You can talk to me directly after this. Phonetically. Okay, so let's go through some words. So I explained snappy just now. Okay, like when you break when you break apart a chocolate and it snaps. So that's a snappy texture that we're looking for. Okay. Mellow. Okay, mellow is when. Yep. Oh, yeah, sorry guys, we're doing some technical adjustments. Okay, very good. Very good. Can you guys see it clearly? Okay, can. Yeah, okay. Okay, oh, by the way, you guys didn't ask, by the way, none of you asked Susian looking plant. Susian is actually a colloquial meaning that it's, relation to almost American culture, colloquialism. Okay, so fun fact, when I was in school, I had to, because I read a lot of books from different authors, British authors, American authors, and I watch a lot of movies as well, and young American. So there are some words that, because we in Malaysia, we follow British English, we don't really follow American English, right? So I struggled with that. I struggled to to stop myself from including some of these words, American words, yang not really accepted in our syllabus. So I struggled with that in school. But yeah, Susin Looking Plant. If you guys have watched any cartoons from Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss is an author known for children's books. If you've heard of Cat and Hat, The Lorax, apa lagi movies and this is what. Yeah, Horton. Yes. Horton Hears a Who. Yes, the elephant. That is absolutely correct. So Dr. Seuss, if you know his characters, and there's one Green Eggs and Ham. Green Eggs and Ham on Netflix. It's really good. It's for kids, but I loved it. I watched it. Yes, The Grinch also really good. Really cute. My sister loves it. My sister is 7 years old. So yeah, all these things that I watch is partly because I myself am like an adult child, but also because my sister watches it and I watch it with her. So yes, Susian looking plant, meaning that the plant looks kind of weird. It's like unique looking. It doesn't look like a conventional typical plant. It looks like a thing from books, like a fictional thing. Okay. So when this writer was saying Susian looking plant, the person is trying to say that it looks almost macam animated, almost comical. Okay. So back to the first word that I was going through just now. What was it? Mellow. Okay, mellow. Okay, in this context, they're saying that they wanted to mellow down the sugar, right? The sweetness, mellow the flavor. Okay, so mellow is when you want to sort of bring it down a notch. When something is too intense, when it's too much, you want to mellow it. It means that you want to bring down the intensity of it. So you can say it in different contexts. Okay, for example, if you have a person who is very macam semangat, talking very loudly, proudly, a bit too intense, voicing his opinions, okay, and then you tell the person, okay, can you please mellow down? It means that you're asking the person to tone down a notch, to go down a notch, okay, like relax, you know. But in this context, in chocolate, they're saying to mellow the extra flavor. It means that if the chocolate is too intense, we will add some things to it. We'll add some cocoa butter, we add milk, so that we don't suffer from too much of an intense flavor, like over intense flavor of the chocolate. Okay, so to mellow down something is to bring it down a notch, to make it less intense, to dilute it. Okay, ovoid. Ovoid is basically a shape. Okay, ovoid is like this. Do you see the shape right here? Yeah. Macam bentuk oval. Okay, ovoid is just another way of saying oval shaped. Okay, Scharfenberger. I could be wrong, but it sounds to me like a German name, honestly. It sounds like a German name. So he's probably a German or Danish sort of name, like European now, basically. And I think he's a chef, and I think they said, yeah, he lives in San Francisco, so he's living in America, but he probably is not like American race, probably European, one of the European races. My bet is German. It's probably German. So yes, it's hard to pronounce the name because German language is a thing on its own. Husks, inner nips. Okay, husks. Husk is this the outer part, the shell. Okay, the husks. Inner nips. Inner meaning it's internal, dekat dalam. Nips are like little tiny pieces. Okay, so it's the inner tiny pieces, the inner parts of the cocoa beans. Okay. Mellow, like I explained just now. Sustainable. Sustainable, you will see a lot of it if you read scientific articles or articles to do with global warming, things like that. So sustainable, wait, let me see, where was the context from this one? Can't find it anymore. Where is it? Sustainable. Okay, well, sustainable basically means I can't find the context from this paragraph. This one, okay. Garnishing for sustainable line caught through. Okay. Sustainable maknanya is something that if we're talking about sustainable energy, if we talk about how we are going to finish using petroleum soon, that petrol that habis, and we're going to be kind of in trouble because a lot of cars and other machineries depend on petrol. So sustainable energy meaning that it is renewable, it can be continuously used, and the production of it will not cause any problems or any complications. So this one, garnishing her sustainable line caught crudo, it means that this person, this chocolate maker, chocolatier, she or he, or in this case it's her, so it's she has a way of making chocolate, continuously making it without problem. She's not harming the environment in the process. She's not harming people in the process. She's not incurring or having to deal with a big cost in the process. It's something that she can do. She can continue doing it without any negative impacts, okay, negative effects. Line caught crudo maknanya it's something that she does and it's her own thing, it's her own creation. Okay, yeah. Ethical. Ethical is almost the same meaning as moral, like to have good moral. So when we say, okay, that's ethical, it means that the person does something, does work, does business, okay, or deals with people in a good way, doesn't cheat, doesn't lie, doesn't do anything deceitful. Okay, honest person. Okay, so that's ethical. So for example, okay, good example. If you go on a bus and then you need to pay, right? And then sometimes the bus conductor doesn't check. So the ethical thing to do is to pay, even if no one is checking, but you pay because you're riding the bus, right? You're riding the bus. So you have to still pay. But some people, if they are unethical, they won't pay because no one's checking. So they will ride the bus for free because they know that they won't be caught doing it, even though it's wrong. Okay. So that's an example of something that is unethical. Okay. Mainstream. Mainstream. Okay. You know when you watch, no, not movies lah. Music is the better example. Easy example. You've got the music on the radio, the top 40s. All right. And I don't know, I really don't know who's number one right now on music because I don't really keep up. I don't really listen to all the mainstream music. Huh. So but I do, except for BTS. I love BTS. So that's probably the only mainstream music that I love. That I am, how to say, I'm with the crowd on that one. But mainstream music is the one that everyone listens to. Okay, it's mainstream. Maknanya it's publicly being streamed. Okay, that's if you're talking about music. But if we're talking about other things, okay, about maybe fashion, about culture, the mainstream one is the one that is most commonly used, most commonly done, most commonly applied. Okay, the one that everyone knows about, everyone is doing it, everyone listens to it, everyone follows it. Okay, so that's the mainstream. So if we're talking about chocolate, the mainstream chocolate would be in Malaysia, definitely it would be what? Cadbury. Okay, or so if we're talking about brands yang different, okay, the lesser brands or the individual brands, maybe private brands by small scale chocolate company owners. So those will be the opposite of mainstream. Maknanya their chocolate isn't sold everywhere, not everyone knows about it, so they're less popular. So mainstream means it's popular, it's out there, everyone knows about it. Okay. All right. I'm getting 10 more minutes. Oh, mainstream music, like, yeah, mainstream music. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, mainstream music is like the thing that everyone knows. We've talked about it's the one that's most well known, like you mention it, everyone automatically knows. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we've heard about that. Yeah. Okay. And if, for example, when when you're like, all of us, I assume we're all Asians, and the mainstream the mainstream career options. The Asian parent approved options would be medic, law, accountancy, engineering, that kind of thing. That's the mainstream. And if anyone says that, oh, they want to be like maybe a marine biologist, it's not exactly mainstream compared to wanting to be an engineer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's macam tak typical lah. So mainstream means something that's typical, basically. Okay. So I hope that clears up for you about mainstream. Okay. Next word is commodity. Okay, a commodity in terms of economics, which I had to take for one semester, is something that's useful, something that's valuable, something that you can benefit from. Okay, commodity. But in terms of we're talking about chocolate. Commodity is like a raw ingredient. Okay, so macam the cocoa bean, now that's commodity. Okay, it's a raw ingredient, it's a plant. Okay, bulk. Bulk is when you buy something in large amounts. In Malay, we would say borong. So macam bulk price. If you guys ever shop on, like Shopee, which I do, I like to shop. So bulk is when you buy something. For example, if you buy one, it's 10 ringgit. But if you buy 100 of it, you buy 100 of the same thing, the price of each one will be reduced to 7 ringgit. That's the kind of thing. Bulk, you buy in a large amount. Infested. Infested is, for example, when you have mice infestation, cockroach infestation. It's when something is being attacked is too much of a word. It's too intense to say to describe it. But it's when something is causing damage and there's a lot of that thing. So it's like you're saying a roach infestation. There's like a lot of cockroaches. You're talking about mice infestation. There's a lot of rats going around. Okay, grind. Grind is the way when you cook, if your mom cooks and guna lasong batu, that's kind of a way you say you're grinding something. It means that if, for example, ground beef, okay, which is benda yang beef that has been grounded, right? Grind. So it's like dicincang ataupun it's being reduced to a smaller particle. Okay, grind. That is if you're talking about food. Okay, so that's food in context. But if Americans, they tend to say, oh, the morning grind. Morning grind. Morning grind means when you are waking up, you have work on Monday morning, and you have to get to work. You got to do your usual routine, and you're tired and you're sleepy, and you're doing the morning grind. You're going through that. Okay, you're going through that. It's difficult, but you got to do it. That kind of thing. Okay, but in this context, in this cocoa bean context, grinding means to make something into a smaller form. Okay, you maybe try to make it into powder form, into kalau for example nuts, peanuts. Kalau you grind it, you make it into smaller, tiny little bits, powdered form. Okay, that's grind. Savor. Savor is to enjoy something. Okay, something that my mom likes to tell me when I eat, because sometimes I'm hungry and then I just eat it in one go and I don't like chew properly. And my mom will be like, "Can you please savor the food you're eating?" It's to take time to enjoy it, okay, to experience it properly. Okay, so if you savor your food, it means that you're really taking in the flavors, the textures, okay, which is something that you should do. Garnishing. Okay, garnishing is, when you eat asam laksa. And you've got the noodles, you've got the kuah laksa, and then you put macam maybe the daun, you put the chili, you put the onions. Those are the garnishings of it. So it's like you tabu atas. Okay, that's garnishing. That's one way of saying it if you're talking about food, since this paragraph, this thing is about food. But another way to use it is if you're saying something is decorated. For example, if you're talking about you say, oh, it was garnished with really fancy decoration, meaning that the thing, it was layered with something, you're putting something on another thing. That's also a different way to say garnish. Okay. Use, sorry. Okay. Next one is conching. So this is specifically a process involving chocolate making. Yeah, it's a specific term, yang for chocolate, where there is it involves everything, meaning the part yang you mix, the part that you heat it, the part that you cool it. So it's the general term to describe all the steps involved in chocolate making. Okay, conching. Okay, commodity, yes. So I said raw material. Yes, raw material, like cacao beans, but also in different usage, in economics, it's like something that's valuable, something important. Agriculture industry. Oh, okay. I think he's explaining the okay, snappy. Snappy, like if I said tadi texture when you snap a candy bar. But another way to say snappy, which my mom also likes to use with me, is to be fast. Okay, to be fast. Like come on, make it snappy. Meaning don't delay it, be quick about it. Okay. Like when you snap your fingers, right? When you snap your fingers, it's to indicate something that's done quickly. So make it snappy to do something quickly. Who else? Let me see. Okay, line caught crudo. Line caught crudo, I explained just now. Crudo is actually kind of a food, it's a way, it's not really an English word, it's I think Italian or Spanish. I think it's Italian. Italian. It's where line caught crudo in this context, they're trying to say that the person, the chocolatier, the chocolate maker, catches for own ingredients. Okay. So yeah, sustainable line caught crudo, meaning the ingredients that she takes it from, they are good ingredients, and the process of her taking those ingredients does not harm anyone or the environment in the process. Fanatically. Fanatically is when you're a fan of something, you like something and you're very invested in that thing, very interested in that thing. Okay. Mainstream, I explained just now already. Nips are another way to say bite-sized. So sometimes you say, oh, I'm taking bites of my food. Another way to say it is you're nibbling. Nibbling is like you're taking small, small bites. So nips are bite-sized. They're small-sized. Okay. Sustain, I've explained, right? Infested, I've explained though. Plump is one step below fat, like it's filled, but it's not fat, like it's just a little bit over the normal size. A little bit rounded lah, basically we would say maybe it's rounded. Okay. Bumpy is texture, a texture that's not smooth. Okay, so someone says like, oh, there's bumpy skin, it means the person has like acne, that kind of thing. Bumpy or bumpy road, meaning that the road is not smooth. Okay, jalan tak smooth. Ovoid is the shape that's like oval. Okay. Okay. Marshmallows and mellow. Okay. Marshmallow is actually the candy, the sweet marshmallows, which is just sugar. It's just sugar. But mellow with an E, okay, like I explained this now, it means to tone something down, to lower the intensity of something, right? Okay, marshmallow is sweet. Okay, it's sweet, made out of sugar completely. But mallow on its own, without the marsh, is actually a plant. Okay, it's a plant. So yes, those are all three. Mellow, mello, me is to tone down, to tone something down. Mallow with an A is the flour. Marshmallow is the candy that's mainly just sugar. Liquor in context of general, if you maybe look on Google right now, you Google liquor, they will tell you it's alcoholic beverages, which it is. It's liquids or it's beverages that has a high or moderately high alcohol content. Okay. Snappy texture. Imagine snapping a bar of chocolate. Okay. What else is there? Mellow. Okay, the mellow again. I hope that mellow is clear for you guys already. Yeah, to tone something down, to make it less intense. Okay. Yeah. else? Conching, like I also said just now, is the whole process of um, chocolate making. The part where you break down the cocoa beans, the part where you mix, the part where you produce the chocolate, every part of it. It's a specific term for chocolate making. Okay, but like also saying alcoholic drink, yes. But in this context, we're not talking about alcohol because obviously if chocolate had alcohol, I wouldn't be able to eat it. But it's like a liquid form, okay? Liquid form of it. Okay, liquid form, liquid liquor. Okay, so lecithin. Someone asked me what lecithin means. Lecithin is a name for a chemical substance. In medical terms, I think we use lecithin for a few diseases like Alzheimer's, if I'm not mistaken. I just learned about it a couple of days ago. But lecithin in this case, it's a thing that helps to smooth the texture because cocoa beans are not really smooth by nature, so they only are like made to be smooth when you add all these things. Okay, one of them is lecithin. Okay. Yeah, someone said that it's like One Direction and Maroon 5. Yeah, definitely. One Direction, Maroon 5, like, everyone knows them, and their songs are always like, in the top 40s. So all those music, all those songs that you see on top 40s, those are all like mainstream music. The one that you see on YouTube with a billion views, all of those are technically mainstream. Okay. Yeah, Scharfenberger is a name. It's a name, a European name. They all have weird, not weird. I think these days we should all be accepting to all different kinds of names from all over the world. But it's weird to us. It's different to us because we don't have any names like this in, Malaysia. The Malaysians don't have the name. Yeah, someone said grind is a synonym for blend. Basically, it is. Okay, it means to make something into finer particles. So for example, you take onion, if you grind it, you get the puree, the same thing that you do when you blend it. Okay. Grind. Okay. Grinding is the action of doing it. Okay, like Atira said, it's a verb. Okay, it's action of doing it. What else? Okay. So anything else? Any other word that I did not teach? I did not explain to you guys? Earthy, maybe earthy flavors. Nips, lecithin. Lecithin is a chemical substance. It's a drug people use when they have Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the disease where I'm giving you guys extra medical knowledge. Alzheimer's is a disease where you have memory impairments. You don't remember things, even about yourself or about your past. It's very common in people who are above 55 years of age. So lecithin is actually a drug we give to them. But in this case, when we're talking about chocolate making, it's a substance that we put in the chocolate to give it the smooth texture. A little amnesia is a part of Alzheimer's, basically. Yeah. Amnesia can happen in many different ways. Like you can have it when you're that old. You can have it when you have accidents, like that movie with Channing Tatum, The Vow. Okay. So amnesia is basically when you don't remember things. Alzheimer's is specifically a disease. Amnesia is like kind of like a part of the Alzheimer's. But yeah, almost the same. Yeah, you're almost you're in the same neighborhood. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Nips. Nips are like little pieces, little bite-sized pieces. Okay. Anyone else? Any other word? Nope. Okay. I think that's all. Okay. All right. I'm glad that's clear for you guys. So for this part, this is just the grammatical aspect of it. So take your time to answer number 1 until number 8. Okay. And then when you're done, we will go straight one by one. Yeah, that's correct, Ayman. Number one is D, start. All chocolate, even white chocolate. Oh, fermented. Okay, fermented. Sorry. Yeah. Fermented means something that has undergone the process of fermentation. Fermentation is when you basically, to make it simple, it's like tapai. Okay. So if something is fermented, it means that it has undergone that specific process of fermentation. And fermentation is actually a chemical, it's a scientific process. So for example, fermented products are like kombucha, if you guys know kombucha. I've never had kombucha, honestly. Kimchi, okay, the Korean cabbage is fermented. Yogurt, okay, so it's when you produce uh, a substance, okay, that kind of differs or is different from the original thing. For example, milk is the original thing, okay, and then you make yogurt, okay. Um, Cabbage, okay, you make it into kimchi. Tea, you make it into kombucha, okay. Tapai is basically rice or pulut, right? Glutinous rice, and you make it into tapai. Yes, wine is also. Alcohol is actually all fermentation. Alcohol is fermentation. Um, yeah, you can make alcohol from like coconut. You can make it from bread. In Russia, there's this one specific alcohol that's made from bread. It's called kvass, and you just ferment the bread and it turns into alcohol. Yeah. So fermented means something that has undergone fermentation. Okay. Sometimes I like to use the word fermented to describe a smell, which is a bad smell. Fermented is like a bad, some sour, very strong sour smell. Okay. So if someone says it smells fermented, it means it's another way to say something smells bad. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sorry. So number one, someone says, okay, I'm sorry. I just discovered that we can do this. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's actually start. Okay. The answer is start, like someone mentioned just now. Okay, why caps lock? Yeah. Hitam, hitam. What? Ah, okay, start. So even white chocolate, someone said something. I think. Okay, so wait. How do I adjust it? All right. So the first one, all chocolate, even white chocolate, starts with the fruit of the cacao tree. An equatorial plant. Okay, we've gone through the text. And the next one, the cacao beans or the cocoa beans are the seeds that. What do you guys think number two is? What's number two? Is it grows, growing, grew, or grow? Number one is start. Yeah, start. Not it start with no s. Because here they say all chocolate. All chocolate meaning more than one chocolate is in plural form. So if it's in plural form, you will use it. This is the plural form of the verb start. So if it's chocolate, all chocolates start. But for example, if they said chocolates, a chocolate, okay, a chocolate, it will be starts, okay, because that is the two forms of plural and singular form of the verb. Okay, so this is plural form. Start is the plural form. Okay, yeah. All right. The next one, what did you guys say? Grow. Are the seeds that grow? Yes, exactly. That's correct. Is grow, and the same rule for start because study chocolate, all chocolate, so it's start. This one seeds, so it's in plural form as well. Okay, so all seeds that grow inside the pot. Okay. All right. Next one, chocolate makers. Number three. Grind, grind it, grinds, or grinding. Makers, someone answer. Okay, grind. Someone who, the people who answer, the one that answered grind is correct. Chocolate makers grind the nibs. Okay. Same reason, chocolate makers. Okay, so the form of it would be grind. Okay, the correct form. The plural form is grind. Yes, grind. The nibs into what's called chocolate liquor. Okay, next. Then the chocolate, number 4. Okay, were, are, is, or was. The chocolate. Okay. If it's the chocolate, right? Should be is. The chocolate is tempered. Okay. If kalau what were or was, okay. To explain, all right. Is and are, they are both present tense. Okay. Was and were, past tense. Is for singular. Okay. The chocolate is, okay, we're talking about the chocolate. But if you're saying chocolates, okay, more than one chocolate, plural, you will say chocolates are. Okay. If we're speaking in past tense, the chocolate was. Okay, that is past tense singular. If we're talking about past tense, tapi in plural form, the chocolates were. Okay, I understand that for me to explain that is a bit, it is confused. Tenses is probably one of the most confusing parts of grammar. If it's chocolates, then we are supposed to use are, yeah. The chocolates are tempered. Yes, yes. If it's chocolates, then you'll say are. That is correct. Then the chocolates are tempered. Yes. But since here they say then the chocolate, then it's just is. Okay. I can recommend you some books for that, for like grammar, the ones that I use for my classes with my kids. Okay. Then I could also send it to you guys on email if you want. Yeah. The books I use, because the ones I use are the ones that I think are good. So yeah. Because I don't have time to go into grammar with you guys today, because grammar is like a lot, and English grammar is like, how do I say, tak menentu. It's not, there's so many exceptions and things that are not really the same. So yeah, I link you to the book, no problem. Okay, so number 5. Number 4. So number 4 is, what was it now? Pick up. Did I write it down? Yeah, it. Then the chocolate is tempered. Wait. No. The chocolate is tempered. Chocolate. Yeah. The chocolate is tempered. Yeah. Because it's in present tense. Okay. Chocolate is tempered. Okay. Present tense. So you have to. There's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to. The tense. Okay. The tenses and also the singular or plural form. Okay. So first of all, you have to like take your time to understand. Firstly, the easiest way to the first thing that you should notice is it's in what tense. Maknanya, is it in present tense? Is it in past tense, or is it in future tense? If it's in present tense, meaning that they're describing it as something yang tengah sedang berlaku. Okay. If it's in past tense, benda tu telah berlaku, it has happened already. Okay. Yes, the article is in present tense. They're describing it. It's like macam, like tutorial on how to, like those cooking channels, like how to do it, like they're doing it right now. So yes, it's in present tense. Okay. Which you notice from the previous answers, right? Okay. Start, grow. Okay. Okay. Grind. If it was in past tense, they will say started, grew. Okay. Ground or was. Okay. But now it's in present tense. If it's in future tense, you will have like, okay, will grow, will grind. You will have all these additions that indicate yang the thing is about to happen. So firstly, when you want to fill in the blanks and you're confused to use is or to use was, think about whether or not it's in past tense or present tense or future tense. Okay, first. Second, determine if it's singular or plural, because the singular form is different and the plural form is different. And in this case, this is present tense and it's singular. So it is. Okay, is that clear for you guys? Okay, I'm glad. Right. Number 5. Number 5 set. What's that? It, they, or them. 5, it, yeah. It sets with the characteristic glossy look and snappy texture. It's very good. So for this one, they, okay, I want to explain it's and it, by the way. Okay, yes, the answer is it though. There are two forms of it that people tend to misuse even when they are typing, texting. Okay, so if it's ITS like that, we are talking about, for example, a dog or a plant or anything that's not human. Okay, and we say, oh, its name is, I don't know what's the cat's name, Coco. Okay, then we're talking about animal. Maknanya, the name of the animal is Coco. Okay, by the way, in terms of grammar, you cannot refer to the animal as he or she. The actual correct way of referring is only it. Okay, so if this one, its name is Coco. Okay, or you can say its fur is, no, fur is long. Okay, so if you're saying it's without the apostrophe, okay, this is how you use it. But if it's it apostrophe s, it's equivalent to it is. Okay, so if you say it is a pleasure to meet you, in this case you would use the second one, it, the tanda apostrophe, it's a pleasure. Okay, you cannot use, okay, it's wrong to use it's a pleasure. Okay, so this is one thing that people, that all of us, not just students, okay, that all of us should be more careful when we write. Okay, when we don't notice the difference between it's and it is. Okay, so keep this in mind. Right. Another thing yang similar to this mistake juga is there are and yeah. Always people make mistakes. Yes, basically yes, belonging. So macam its fur is long, its flowers, its petals are blue. Okay, like you're talking about flower, right? Because we're talking about benda yang bukan hidup. So yes, belonging. And if you're talking about it is, that's when you're describing something. Okay, so when you are writing, think about like what are you trying to say? Are you describing something in general, a statement, you know, it is, or are you trying to talk about the characteristics or the belongings of someone? Okay, they are, yes, there is betul, that's correct. So Sarmista is correct. They are, okay. Okay, am I correct? Sorry, writing. They are 8. They are, okay. They are meaning that there is like someone's belonging. So, for example, you'll see that their shoes are dirty. So you're describing someone's condition or someone's state. Okay. So when people write there and there, they tend to mix it up. Okay. So be careful with this. Know what you're writing, as in understand what you're trying to say. Okay. So some people they will say, they will make the mistake of saying, okay, which is wrong because it's the same as saying they are shoes are dirty, which has no meaning. It doesn't mean anything. It's weird. It doesn't mean anything. So when you are writing, when you're typing, when you tend to get confused, take this word there and bring it up into this form. They are, and then you put it to your sentence and you see, does it make sense? Does it sound like it makes sense to you? Okay, so if it's they are, then you will use they, the tanda re. But if you're talking about the condition of something or something, someone punya belonging, then you will use their, okay, with the EIR. 8. Okay, 8, right, is actually a slang which I would use because I don't have any English exams. So I use ain't a lot sometimes when I speak to people, especially. But in written, in essay form, it's better to use isn't. Okay, also known as is not. That's the better one. Ain't is kind of like colloquialism as well, more to speaking, more to slang word, right? So if you say this, that ain't right, it's better to say that isn't right. Yeah, same meaning basically, but isn't is the better way to the more grammatically appropriate one to use. Aren't, yes, aren't is are not, yes. Okay, is that clear for you guys? Okay. So wasn't, was not, yeah, correct. Okay, so what question were we at right now? Number 5. It, right. Also buying breaks for all meals. Okay. Strictly speaking, all chocolate is being students. Yeah, students and students. Okay. Okay, wait, let's see. So if we're saying student like that, it means it is one student. One student. If we're saying students, it means a few student punya, beberapa students. Okay, more than one. For example, for me, when I went to high school, I went to a girls' school. So girls' school, it would be like this. Because it's not just my school, okay? It's generally a girls' school. So it would be the apostrophe would just be on its own. There, you don't put an extra like that. You just put it that way. Okay. But if it's many girls, okay. If you say macam ni, girls' school. This means that, oh, that is that girl punya sekolah. That girl satu seorang tu je punya sekolah. Okay, do you see the difference, guys? I ain't got no doubts on her. That is fine. There's nothing, I say that. I speak like that sometimes. And potentially I'm also influenced by my Nigerian friends. It's not wrong to say it, but it's better to not use that when you are doing exams, like when you're doing speaking exams, when you're doing essay. Don't use that. Because technically, it's not. It doesn't adhere. It doesn't really follow the syllabus, that we are supposed to base our thing from. But in terms of speaking, no problem. You can say, oh, I ain't doing it. I ain't believing her. No problem. But just don't apply it to your exams. Is ain't considered rude? No, not really. I don't think it's rude. Depends on the context you're saying, of course. It depends on how you say it, depends on your intonation. But generally, no, it's not rude. There's nothing wrong with saying ain't. Okay. Yeah. All right, no problem. Okay, so go back. Where were we? It says, okay. Just as all meals, okay, strictly speaking, all chocolate is bean to bar, just as all meals, number 6. Are, were, is, or was. Guys, okay, answer. Okay, abbreviation. So when I go into essays, when I talk to you guys about essays, there are a lot of changes that has occurred for the current paper compared to the previous format. During my wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, during my time when I did SPM long time ago, there were so many restrictions. Like you couldn't use For example, kalau I am, you cannot use I'm, you can't use isn't, you have to make everything long-winded. But now, the format for now, apparently, you can use it. You can actually use short forms. Short forms meaning, for example, if you use it is, you can use it's, okay? If was not, you can use wasn't. It's actually allowed now, okay? But kalau girls, and like what I wrote down, girls for many girls, girls for one girl, it's not a short form, it's not a variation. It is a way to describe, meaning that, you know, the girl punya ataupun the girls punya, which is fine. That is actually accepted in the current format and in the previous format that would have been accepted. Okay. But of course, you can't be using stuff like LOL or OMG. Those still you tak boleh guna, okay? But if, for example, they are, you use there, is not, you use isn't, is actually allowed now. Because the new format is apparently, allegedly, meant to train you guys to not only pass your exams for SPM, but to also apply the language and use it as if you are a native English speaker. Okay? So, yeah. Right. Okay, so for number 6, what do you think it is? Are, is it will, is, or was? Yes, all meals. Okay, all meals are, because it's meals, it's plural form, and it's in present tense, so it's are. Okay, farm to table. Next one. Okay, this is in marked contrast to mainstream industrial chocolate, in which the beans are a commodity product bought. Number 7. Absolutely correct, Samita. In, okay, bought. In bulk for price, not quality. Meaning that they don't really care about the quality of it, they just want to buy a big quantity of it. So yeah, in bulk. Schaffenberger chocolate maker in San Francisco. That's because big companies often mix. Number 8. Khairil, Aiman asked bulk me what? Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna take this out of the way. Okay, bulk means, yeah, like borong, you have to buy in large amounts, So if you say to buy in bulk, it means that you're buying a large stock of it. Okay. If you say something is bulky, it means that it's very macam besar, takes up space. Okay, for example, my sweater that I'm wearing today is bulky. It means that it's tebal and thick, and it indicates something that's large, basically. Okay. Number 6 is R. I wrote R, right? Okay. Sorry, I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. R essentially farm to table. Okay, R. Why is it R? It's because it is plural form, because meals, and it's also in present tense. So present tense plural is R. Okay, is that clear? That. Right now, mix. Okay, someone this one said with. No, what they mean is that's because big companies often mix in so many other ingredients. Okay, jangan campur masuk, mix in. Okay, so it's actually mixed in so many other ingredients. So what we're eating is a lie. No, it's just that no, if we wanted to, if they were to if they wanted to like actually take all the good ingredients, right? People would be broke. We'd be broke because we would have to pay a large amount to pay for it, to pay for the candy bar. And even now, candy bars are not cheap. Like it's not cheap. You can a Cadbury bar is like 7 ringgit, and that's kind of expensive, honestly. Maybe because I'm broke, maybe that's why I find it expensive. But it is kind of expensive. So if they actually took, you know, proper ingredients, then I don't think any of us could afford it. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys think it's clear what I'm saying. All right, so we have answered all the questions for this one. And the articles will be like this. You know, they will talk about something and number one. Back up. start. Why is it start? Because it is plural. Okay, plural form of the verb because chocolate is plural, all chocolate. They say all chocolate. Okay, yeah, and it's in present tense. Okay, so anything that you guys want to ask in relation to this? Everything clear for you guys? Clear. All right, I'm glad. So we are going to, okay, I've described for you paper one, right? Paper one. So now I think I will also go into the essay. Okay, the essay part. We've got 3 different essays. Yeah, PowerPoint, huh? Okay, hold on, I'm just gonna switch to the other document. Oh, okay. The questions, wait. Which one do you mean? We'll go through the text which has gaps in it. Is it the one from the module or? Wait, which one again? These are I will go through everything from the module, don't worry. Okay. So are you guys ready to do the second part? Yeah, yeah. There's nothing in paper 2 about the module because I feel like because I wasn't sure which one I wanted you guys to do for the essay. Okay. There's 3 different types of essay. I didn't include it into the module because honestly, when I was doing the module for you guys, I thought of doing things that were informative. Okay, informative, but at the same time would not make you guys feel macam berat, overwhelmed. Because you know when you think of doing an essay on a Sunday, you feel macam it's too heavy. So I didn't want to scare you guys off. But we will do a essay. I won't ask you guys to do a whole essay, but I want you guys to do maybe a paragraph of an essay. Okay, which I'll explain for this one. Okay, so honestly, can you guys tell me when you write essays at school, um, what kind of marks do you get? Macam out of 60, for example, what do you guys normally get? 50, 40s, 30s? Like where is the average, the mid range, the range for you guys for marks in essays? Above 40, okay. 40 to 50, okay, not bad. Oh, that's really good. Sonia. Okay. Okay. All right, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. If you're malu cakap, no worries. Okay. What do you guys struggle with the most for essays? Like, what is the thing that makes you guys macam not get the marks? Do you think? What do your teachers say to you? What to start with? Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. Grammar, right? Okay. Writing a story. Okay. Answer the question. Okay. Huraikan ayat, yeah, I got it. So, the first thing that I would say the most important thing, this is for my own personal experience, is time management. Okay, time management. There was one time when I was in school, English was probably my favorite subjects were English and science and English. But for there was one time that I got a B for English, and it was because I didn't finish my essay because I didn't have time. So the first thing I would like to stress for all of you is to make sure you manage your time well. Okay, and if it's in the exam, of course you're supposed to do that already. But before the exam, when you do essays at home, time yourself. Okay, time yourself, because there is no meaning in making such a perfect beautiful essay, part one, part two, and then suddenly part three you tak sempat habis. That has happened to me before. Okay, so make sure time management top tier importance. Second, question, understanding the question. Okay, when you don't understand your question, that is another thing. In this format for paper two format for the new CEFR one, okay, they really pay attention to that. Okay, meaning that, for example, if the question asks you, if the question asks you, like this one, okay, question number 2, your class has been discussing how they spend their money, and your teacher has asked you to write an essay about what you would spend your money on. Okay, in your essay you should write about what you like to buy, reasons for your choice, and where do you usually buy these things. Okay, so this kind of essay you need to follow the question. All right, you cannot go out of context. Okay, there was one essay about this Mother's Day gift. Like you are asked to buy a gift for your mom, and you have to describe the gift, where to buy the gift. Okay, for example, that kind of question, right? If you write down, oh, I want to buy my mom chocolates, flowers, perfume, and a handbag, it's considered wrong. Why is it considered wrong? Because you are going against the question. The question asks you to describe one gift, one thing to buy, and you described 4 things. And though technically, in a real life situation, it is not wrong to buy your mom 4 things. But according to the essay, you are not understanding what they are actually asking you. Tak tepat. So they deduct marks for that. Okay, first, understanding the question is very important. Okay. Also, I'm looking at the chat and I see that all of you have the problems and stuff, right? The things that you struggle with when you write an essay. The thing is, you guys are so young. You guys are what, 16, 17. And this is the time to make mistakes. This is the time to make mistakes, honestly. Okay. Because it's better that you guys make the mistakes at your age than when you guys make the mistakes at my age or older, when you're in your 30s. Okay. So if you guys are shy or you're embarrassed or you feel like regret, or any of those things at this age, it's fine. You guys are in school. This is the time where you're supposed to do those things. I did those things too, and I made a lot of mistakes. And I was at that age as well, so there's nothing wrong. If they laugh at you, you don't be friends with them. Don't be friends with people who don't support you. And also, you don't need many friends. If you're worried about losing friends, you don't need many. You just need, I have, from high school, I only keep in touch with 3 people. Okay, 3 people from high school, and I keep in touch with them until now, even though we are not even in the same country anymore. And even from college, I have 4 to 5 very close friends. So you don't need many people. You just need good people. Quality over quantity. Okay, is what I always say. So anyway, okay, back to this example part of paper 2. We there's another thing that they changed from the old format to the new format. In the old format, they used to count the words very strictly. Okay, and they used to say your answer has to be within this limit. Okay, now in the new format, Okay. The new format, you can write more than 150 words. They won't deduct marks for it. Okay, guys, they won't deduct marks, but they won't read it. So if you write more than 150 words, you write so much and you go on, and then you waste your time and your energy, and then the examiner will not even read it. They won't even read it. Okay. So my advice is to not waste too much time writing a lot, but focus on the quality of what you write. So you can write sikit, but write something really good. It's better than writing banyak and then you guys write like, something that is not great. Okay, so there are three types of essay. Okay, part one, part two, part three. Which one do you guys have the most trouble with normally? Part one, part two, or part three? That gives you guys the most amount of stress. Okay, everyone is stressed out at part three. Okay, all right. So part three, there's different types of, oh my god, the habis. Okay, different types of essays, right? Okay. So maybe before we go into part three and then scare ourselves, maybe we should do it slowly. Okay. Slowly we do part one first. Okay, part one. Um this one. You received an email from your new friend Amy, who has just moved to your hometown. Hi, the school holiday is finally here. Let's go for a picnic with our friends. Where shall we go and what can we do there? What should we bring? I'll be waiting for your reply. Okay, bye. So the question is quite direct. Okay, they're asking you, your friend emailed you, and your friend is saying, okay, the school holiday is here. So let's go for a picnic with the friends. Where should we go? Where should the picnic be? What can we do there? Okay, and then what should be brought to the picnic? Right. So your friend wants you to give all these ideas. So your job is to write back to your friend, telling the location that you think is perfect, what you can do there, what you should bring. Okay, so I know that all of you said you have problem with part three, yes, but we're gonna go slow. Okay, this is like a swimming pool. We don't jump first. We put our toe in first. We dip a toe in. So this is us dipping our toe in. Okay, into the first part first. So I want you guys to try and write this. And after that, you can send it to the chat. All right. So write it down. Um, Write it down. Send it to the chat, to Zoom. You can send it to me. Kalau you guys are malu, right? You guys are shy, okay? Then you can send it to me. Just direct it to the host and finalist. And then I will correct it. What I do with my students, okay, is when we do essays in class, they will write something and then I will go through it and I will correct the things that should be corrected. Okay. And I will help them rephrase a little bit. And that way they start learning how to write in a different different style of writing. And it helps them. I do it with my students and most of them improve after a while, after a few times doing it. So that's what I will do with you guys today. Okay. So I want you guys to write this essay, question number one. You should write around 80 words. Okay. So it's casual. It's supposed to be casual. Yeah, to the beach. Okay, you play volleyball. Yeah, that's no problem. You can say all those things. Okay. So be descriptive. Then you say, okay, hi Amy, it's good to hear from you. I think that we should, sorry, clumsy hands, I got the mic. I think that we should go to the beach for the picnic and you can describe, okay, what you want to do there. You can play volleyball. Okay. Okay, so all of you know how to do it, right? So write it down and I'm going to pick a few of yours and I will use it as the example. Okay. And I will help correct it in whatever I should correct. So Ashwin Sonia has written hers, and honestly, there's nothing that I can correct. Everything is perfect. Honest grammar, the words that you use, all are fine. Not a problem at all. It's a good one. Straight to the point. Good job. Very good job. If you guys are not confident, trial exams are scary, but just whenever I get scared about something, exams, I have exams too. In my university, we have this thing called major, where after every, for example, every 5 topics, every 10 topics, we have a major or test on those topics. So macam every 2-3 minggu I have a test, every 2-3 minggu I have a test, that kind of thing. And when I was in first until third year, I had like 15, 16 subjects per semester. So yeah, I get the stress that you guys have, but then don't, there's this saying that you cross the bridge when you get there, meaning that if you go to jambatan, right, and you tengah berjalan dan you tak nampak lagi jambatan tu, jangan risau nak cross jambatan kalau you tak sampai pun tu lagi. Don't stress in advance. Okay, so if you guys have anything and you guys have trials and you're not confident, don't think of it as something that's negative, okay? And also look at it from a different perspective. If you're scared about your trials, think of how this is the time for you to fix yourself before the actual exam. Okay, so look at it from a good point of view, from a positive perspective. Insecure, yes, you felt it, right? And that is a good way of describing it. Yes, you feel insecure. Okay, so anyone else going? If you want to take your time, I will give, like, in the exam you are given some time for this, right? So I'll give you guys 20 minutes to do this part, the essay. Okay, write something according to the question. Okay, and for example, like just now, Ashwin Sonia did hers, and there's nothing that I can correct with hers because it's perfectly fine. Okay, because in grammar, the words that she used, aesthetically pleasing, nothing wrong, absolutely without flaw. Okay, without flaw, flawless. So the rest of you can also send to me, please, and I will be more than happy to go through it. Okay, and we'll see how each of us writes. Suhail. Suhail said it. There's like two separate meetings, so I'm going to first copy the one from this meeting to the other. Honestly, Suhail, yours is fine. There's nothing. Yeah. I need to send it to the other. The other meeting, they see it, the other thing they see. Okay. So, the people in the second one, in the Zoom meeting, you guys, we are discussing what someone from the webinar has sent. Okay. So, Suhail, yours is fine. There's, I don't know why you don't feel confident to write, because yours is fine, because, I love my students. I do. I love my students. I've been teaching them since the beginning of the year. And they're all sweet students, but my students have problems writing, like really problems that are memang they need extra help, and yours is fine. Okay, let me read it. Let me go through it. Okay, hi Amy. Yes, that's a good idea. I think this is the right time to spend time with our friends. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong grammatically. We can go to waterfall. Okay, we can go to a waterfall. Just add a. Okay, we can go to a waterfall and have a picnic there. No problem. Have a picnic there is not a problem. Okay. Or you can say have a picnic by the waterfall. Okay. There are many things that we can do there. Bring some food and beverages along. I'll bring a picnic blanket and trash bag. Okay, you can say a trash bag, or you can say I'll bring a picnic blanket and some trash bags. Okay, some trash bags. Wait, let me. Oh, okay, wait, I can just edit from here. Yep. So I will write it down so it's easy. I'll write it down so you guys can read it instead of just hearing me orally. And how do I? Okay, cool. Wait. Okay, let's do this. Wait. Okay, so let's see. What am I doing? Sorry, I'm not used to using two screens, but yep. Technologically challenged. Yep. Hi Amy, that's a good idea. Things like that. Okay. So the thing that I would ask you to, what is the box? The box is gone. Okay. The one thing I'm not add lah. Okay. I can go to waterfall. Okay, just change we can go to a waterfall. Okay, just add the so there's one punctuation that I like to use. I love using it when I write, when I text. Okay, mostly when I text, because now in my line of studies, medical, there's not much to do with English as a subject anymore. It's more to, I do all the science related things, so I don't have any opportunity to write essays. But so I guess it's when I text people. You said that there are many things that we can do there. So instead of using a full stop and then you write down a separate sentence, after that you write another sentence. I use this semicolon. Okay, semicolon. All right. So there are many things that we can do there. Okay, semicolon. You can describe what you would do there. Okay, so there are many things you can do there. Swim. Play games. And this is just an example. Okay, anything. I have a feast. Okay, have food, have good food. So when you use a semicolon, you are referring to the first part of the sentence. Okay, things to do there. You put a semicolon and then you continue with the examples that are related to the first part of the text. Okay. For example, this is unrelated to the essay. This is just the context, the way that you want to use semicolon. Okay. For example, there were many options at the buffet, at the breakfast buffet. Okay, why am I talking about breakfast buffet? Because I am hungry. Yes. Okay, so there are many options at the breakfast buffet, semicolon. You can say blueberry muffins, pancakes, cereal, eggs, and plenty more. Okay, so that's how you use semicolon, which people rarely use. People like to use comma, but I like semicolon. I would encourage you guys to use it because it makes the sentence longer and has a better flow. So you don't make it, for example, kalau you buat, there are many things you can do that, full stop. You can swim, play games, and have a feast, full stop. It's like choppy. It's choppy, you know what I mean? This one, there's like a good flow to it. So I hope you guys understand how to use the semicolon. Does it make sense for you guys? Because I know that in our syllabus, we don't really focus on punctuation. And when we do use punctuation, our syllabus, Malaysian syllabus, we don't really do semicolon. We do commas more than semicolons. So do you guys understand how to use this punctuation? You think? Then yes, okay. Yeah, so you can make it bigger. So yeah, bigger. Yeah, better. Okay, so sorry, Sahel. Okay, I was going through yours, right? Sorry, but yeah. Okay, there are many things there. Bring some food and beverages along. That's fine. I'll bring it in. So that's all. That's fine. Nothing else. There is nothing else that's wrong with your essay. Even this part, the part that you wrote, we can go to waterfall now. That wasn't wrong. Okay, I was just using yours as an example to incorporate semicolons. That's all. But what you wrote is fine. Okay, nothing wrong with it. You have no reason to feel insecure about the way you write. Okay, no reason at all. Okay. Khairul Aimannya. Okay. I hope you. Okay, so Amy, I hope you. Hi Amy. Okay, one of the things that was mentioned to me by this teacher who's kind of like who's been in the SPM English business business, we call it business, in the line for more than 20 years, and she was saying how the current format of SPM essay writing is you shouldn't write the pink of health anymore because now they are shifting towards CEFR, and CEFR is like international level of English. So they are trying to make us adapt to the international standards. And international standards don't really use pink of health. Okay. So instead of saying pink or pink of health, you can say what you normally would say to someone. Maknanya something yang memang actually applicable. Okay, like I hope you're doing, you and your family are well. Or you can say, I hope you and your family are doing well. Okay, up to you. Well, doing well. Or you can say, I hope. This is what I like to say to my friends that, since we've been away for like a year and a half since pandemic. So I hope things are good on your end. This is what I use. I hope things are good on your end, meaning that whatever's happening on your side of your life, of the world, that things are good. Okay. So these are some of the examples. Okay, the ways that you can say introduction examples. Okay. We can go to number. Okay, next. So choose one of these things, salah satu, okay, and then we can go something about. We can have the picnic at Taman Bukit Sabah. It is a place all which should be start, all which should start with capital letters, if you know. Bukit Sabah. And do their we and enjoy the by we can have the picnic. Allah, sorry, as you can see, I'm not used to using mouse. So we can have the picnic at Taman Bukit Sabah and enjoy the day by taking a dip in the waterfall. Okay, so since it's a waterfall, you want to emphasize on spending time at a waterfall. Okay, taking a dip is another way of saying swim. Okay, we can bring swimming clothes. You can say swimsuits. We can bring our swimsuits. Burger, like rice, chicken, carbonate. Some eggs, sorry, swimsuits, some food and drink. Oh, some food and beverages, right? So, instead of using sorry, okay, okay. Oh, wait. No, sorry guys, yeah. Ah. Okay. All right. So, okay. So some food and beverages, instead of using like, you can say including. Okay, including termasuk. Okay, so you can switch like to including rice, chicken wings. Okay, that's fine, no problem. Rice, chicken wings, and carbonate drinks. Carbonated drinks. Okay, carbonated drinks. And plates and you can say cutleries. Cutleries are like the the utensils that you need to eat with. Okay, so carbonated drinks and cutleries. I will bring 18 pieces. Okay, I'll be vigilant by bringing a first aid kit. Just in case of any unwanted accidents. Okay, and last part, you said right soon, that's fine. No problem with that, perfectly fine. So we can have the picnic at Taman Bukit Sabah and enjoy the day by taking a dip in the waterfall. We can bring our swimsuits, some fruit and beverages, including rice, chicken wings, carbonated drinks, and cutleries. I'll be vigilant. Vigilant is another way of saying that you're going to be very careful, you're going to be very aware, you're going to be like prepared. You're going to be prepared. Okay, you're going to be extra by bringing a first aid kit. Okay, and semicolon. In relation to bringing a first aid kit, you explain why you want to bring it, just in case of any unwanted accidents. Okay, so unwanted meaning that you're not hoping there's going to be an accident, but in case if there is an accident, you're prepared for it. Okay, so I hope everyone, anything that you guys want to ask me when I wrote this one and the previous essay that I corrected. Yes, you can use it. It's punctuation is allowed, no problem. I used to use that a lot. I actually started using semicolon when I was in Form 4, Form 5. Yeah. Vigilant. Vigilant means to be very aware, to be alert. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, it's like when you want to separate to when you want to use when you use and or when you use full stop, and then the flow of the writing is kind of like interrupted, right? That's when you use semicolon. So okay, let me think of a sentence I want to say. Okay, there were many types of no. What can I talk about? My mind is blank. How to expand ideas with it? Sorry. Yeah. Wait. Why is the mouse not working? Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, it is because it's like it's accepted because it's what do I say? How do I say? It's a normal punctuation. It's a part of punctuation. It's sama dengan macam commas and all that, but like this is that we don't use it as often. That's all. It's just not. It's rarely used. Okay. So we use it to separate the sentence, but they are related to each other. For example, you're saying that you're going to be vigilant. You're going to be careful by bringing a first aid kit. And then in relation to that, maknanya dia kena mengena dengan ayat pertama tu, you put semicolon and you talk about the next thing. Okay. Someone asked, what on earth? Why is the mouse? Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. Someone asked how to expand idea and good words about the activities and get extra marks. Be descriptive. Be descriptive. Descriptive meaning if you are talking about food, okay, instead of saying, oh, some rice, okay, some rice, you can describe it, talk about it being aromatic, talk about the structure of it, talk the texture of it. If you're talking about color, talk about the maybe instead of saying, oh, it's blue, you can say that, oh, there were hues of blue at the hem of the shirt and leading up to the center of the shirt, the color deepened and darkened. That kind of thing. Do you understand? Like, you try to be a bit dramatic. In writing, it's fine to be dramatic. When you talk that way, it's weird. Okay, when you talk that way, it's weird. But when you want to write, it's good to be a little bit more extra. Okay, idioms. I do not like idioms. Even okay, during my time, when I was doing PMR and yeah, my time it was not even PT3, it was PMR. When I was doing PMR and when I did SPM, it was the thing. It was the thing that we had to do to guna idioms, and oh my god, I hated it. I just felt like it made my essays tacky. Tacky meaning it made it macam it brought down the quality of my essay because it's very like macam it's kind of lame, when you want to use like, oh, kick the bucket and all those things. Like, who says that in real life? No one. No one normal, at least. Okay, I don't know, there's weirdos that use it, but it's weird. But you don't have to use it anymore. Now the format now is no longer required. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't sound genuine. It sounds like you're trying too hard, and no one likes to try hard. It's not cool to be trying hard. Okay. So when I was doing my essays in school, I didn't write it. I was stubborn about that. I did not write mine with idioms. And alhamdulillah, it did not affect my marks, thank God. Okay. But now the format sekarang, you don't have to write idioms, because the format now, the whole idea of it is that you want to how do I say, they want you to train yourself to speak like a native speaker, meaning that they're trying to get you to be on the same level as those English people, maybe, or those Americans. And let me tell you, English people and Americans do not speak with idioms. So that's why they're the new format. They don't really care for you to do all these things. They just want you to to express yourself as if you speak macam normal tau. Dia tak nak macam benda-benda yang terlalu overly scripted. Okay, so idioms are a bit scripted. Okay, so the way that you are supposed to score for the current format, the CEF file punya, is to show that you can use words with ease, to show that you are comfortable writing and speaking, thinking, expressing yourself in English. Okay, so my advice for this is to expand your vocabulary. That's all. That's something that we will do after our break. I will show you a list of words that people use, and I am going to show you the words that you can use instead. Okay. Another thing is sentence structure and grammar. Those are the foundation of a good essay. You can use all these, they call it bombastic words, right? Which it is good to know words. It's good to know all these big words, but at the same time, there is no meaning. Tak ada maknanya. You know all the bombastic words, but your grammar is not strong. It's weak. Now we don't want that. Okay, it's better to use simple words, but to have good sentence structures, to have consistent tenses. Okay, don't focus on using big words, but then you don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, so make sure that you have good grammar first of all. That's the structure of all things. And then with the words, okay, you don't have to macam throw all these bombastic words at the same time. Okay, 3 words per paragraph is good enough, you know. And the rest you can just be normal, you know, be cool, keep it light, you know. But yeah, after this we will have an exercise on that. If you guys can see on the module, there's like one where there's two exercises for that, for the word word practice, word expansion. Okay, right? So yeah, we will get to that soon. Now let's move on. Okay, who else can I see? Tacky. Someone asked me what tacky. Wendy asked me what tacky was. Tacky is like, for example, sometimes my sister, she's 8 this year. Yeah, well, she's 8 this year. She turns 8 this year, and she's a kid, right? So sometimes when we go shopping, and then she picks out something that's like ugly. She would pick out something that's like got a lot of glitter and a lot of sparkle, and I would be like, no, Ira, that's tacky. Okay, tacky meaning it's macam tak ada class. It's something that's kind of like cheap looking, tacky. Okay, so when I say that I don't like to use idioms because it makes my essay tacky, it means that it brings down the quality of my essay. It brings down the, you know, yeah, that's correct. That's how you spell it. Yes, T-A-C-K-Y, tacky. It's actually kind of like a word, almost a slang word. Yeah, tacky. It's not cool, tacky. Yeah. So I tell that to my sister whenever she picks out her dresses because her taste is tacky. Her taste is tacky. She likes to pick out those rainbow dresses with the big puffy sleeves, you know. So it's tacky. So I like to use that. Yeah. Okay, I hope that clears up for you, tacky, what it means. All right. Okay, who else may I say? Can I go through? Okay, I'm glad. That's okay. If you guys can't do that, say it's not a problem. It's all right, no problem. Sylvia, they are involved together with families since the school of this. Yeah. Wait. Amy, I hope that you are doing well together with your family since school. This is here. I said it. At the beach, we put seashells there and watch sunset. Very. Okay. All right. So I think Sylvia wrote this, right? Sylvia. Okay, it's not bad at all. I understand. As in, sometimes when I teach my students, right? My students, they range in terms of their abilities. There's a large range of abilities among my students. But so far from what I've seen that what you guys are writing, for starters, right? It's coherent, meaning that I understand what you guys are saying. There are some essays that I read, not just essays in school. I also do a side job where I help correct papers for university students, like when they have their PhD or their thesis, and it's in English, right? So I will correct it for them, change the structure of the sentence. I will add a word. I will edit their grammar for them because they're going to get their PhD, right? And these are students from the UiTM faculty. So even them at that age, these are people who are in their 30s, late 20s, 30s. And even sometimes they even have trouble with trying to express what they are trying to say. Like we don't even know what the message is here, what the sentence that they're writing. So from what I've seen from you guys, all of it are coherent, which is a good thing, which means that I understand what you guys are trying to say. I get what you're trying to menyampaikan. So that itself is good. You guys are doing a good job at that. Okay, so Sylvia, yours is fine, just some minor corrections, okay? I hope that you are doing well together with your family. Okay, a better way to say that, okay, is I hope you and your family are doing well. Okay, since the school holidays, okay, it will be here. Since school holidays are here, I have decided that we will have a picnic at the beach. I have decided that we will have, okay, that's fine. But another way to say it, okay, you can say I think it's fitting to have a picnic at the beach. Fitting means that it's sesuai, it's appropriate. Okay, I think it's fitting to have a picnic at the beach. We can collect seashells there and watch the sun set. Okay, if you're talking about watching the sunset, then you will be separated the sunset. Okay, because if you're talking if you're talking about sunset in satu kataan, one word, it means that it's a noun, it's a thing. But if you're talking about watching the thing, some like a verb, you're watching the sun set. Okay, when you're watching the sun go down. Okay. During in the evening, okay, this part, watch the sunset. You can say either sunset in the evening, or you can say this watch the sunset. Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah, during the evening or in the evening, whichever one. Okay, choose one. Don't do both. That will be a great idea of capturing the most beautiful scenery. Okay. Okay, this evening. Which you can use, which will be a great way of capturing the picture. Okay, so you're saying that you're going to capture it on picture because I think it's more complicated if you're trying to explain that you're going to capture it by memory. So I added picture, yeah. So by capturing the most beautiful scenery on picture, meaning you're going to take pictures and, gram it. Okay, don't forget to bring the food and I will bring the picnic blanket. Okay, don't forget to bring the food. So food, right? The word food is actually English has a lot of those words yang macam, like for example, furniture. Furniture is like technically both plural and singular, and that's how it is with food as well. So it's better to just say food without the s, because food without the s one it already means like makanan in general, So don't forget to bring the food, or you can say don't forget to bring the snacks, or you can say don't forget to bring instead of, okay, sustenance. This is a word that I learned from this movie, Legally Blonde. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix still, but sustenance. Okay, don't forget to bring sustenance, not the sustenance, just sustenance. Sustenance is a word that means something to keep you, to sustain you. So to provide you with some energy. Okay, so sustenance is like food lah, basically snacks. Okay, don't forget to bring sustenance. Okay, and I will bring the picnic blanket. Hope to see you soon. Okay, that's fine. Nothing else wrong. Nothing else is wrong with this essay. I hope you guys understand my corrections. And is there anything you want to ask me? Oh, oh, okay, great. Okay, everything okay. So also, by the way, if I correct your sustenance. Sustenance is like a way that you want to save food. Okay, sustenance meaning something to sustain you. Sustain to maintain your condition. So like if you say sustenance, oh, if you're going for a study group and you bring sustenance, it means you're bringing some snacks, some muffins, milk, Vitagen, kind of thing. Okay, so no problem. The reason that I'm here is to help you guys. So it's not like I expect you guys to come in perfect condition. Okay, it's fine. That's the whole point of me being here, is to help you, and I don't judge at all. Okay, at all. So, and also if I correct your essay, right? I hope you guys understand that I'm not trying to criticize it. Okay, I'm only trying to help you make it, better in the future. So don't feel like, oh, I'm correcting it and yours is like a problem. There's nothing wrong with what you're writing, but it is my job to help make it better. So I hope none of you are offended with any of my corrections. Okay. Okay. So anyone have any questions? We have a break at 12:30, by the way. So this is the time. Berapa lama break? Berapa lama break? Berapa lama break? 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay. So we have an hour you can go to the toilet and eat and all that. Okay. So any questions before the break? Sustenance. Sustenance is like, okay, I brought sustenance to the meeting, meaning that you brought to the meeting, you brought some snacks to the meeting, you brought things that people can eat for the meeting. Okay, is that clear? Is that okay, Shahira? Is that clear for you? Okay, okay, all right, good, all right. Okay, so for now, you guys can go eat, rest, lie down, anything you guys want to do, and we will be back at 1:40. 1:45. All right. Okay. So see you guys in a bit.